I still am rocking out, Chrissy, to that. Hi, how are you doing, sis?
It's been like a Monday instead of a Tuesday. It's been like a Monday. So, and I hate Mondays. So
Yeah, I do too.
it hasn't really been that bad. So, but hey, welcome to Within the Cauldron, everybody. Now this next paranormal team is from my neck of the woods in Iowa. So, which I'm kind of pleased because this makes the third team in Iowa that we have interviewed. So, yeah, kind of makes me happy. But to further ado, let me go ahead and introduce them, everybody. So, there was founded in 2010. Paranormal Endeavors is a paranormal research and investigation team dedicated to helping individuals and businesses better understand unexplained activity and experience. The team's mission is simple: to help people feel safe, comfortable, and empowered in their own spaces. Most of the paranormal team comes through private referrals, focusing on residential and businesses cases. Every investigation is approached with compassion, professionalism, and respect for both the clients and the locations involved. So, to further ado, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Thank you.
everybody.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome. We
You are
appreciate
most
it.
welcome. So we have Eric, and you are the team lead, correct?
Yep, and founder of it, going all the way back to 2010. So yeah, it's been me. And then when I started it, I had Jackie, who's also with us. She's the second oldest on the team in terms of membership. Been with us just a little bit after that. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
We started
how
in
did
March, and then I came in the summer of that year still. So
Oh wow! So
Just a
how did
couple
you
months,
find the team, or how did you start the team? Did you advertise? Was you friends before?
She was friends before and just kind of talked about it. And I think it was just one of those unique experiences that not everyone comes across. I explain myself as being a very unique cookie anyway. So I'm definitely not a usual, shall we say, normal person. So this is one of my things, especially when I was going through my college years. A lot of the kids would go ahead and hang out, at the bars and the house parties, stuff like that. I was hanging out in the cemeteries. I was doing, stuff in abandoned houses and urbexing, just urban exploring. So I talked to her about it. It was basically mutual interest. And I don't know what she thought at the time, if she was like, wow, but she's been here the whole time, so she must love it.
Oh yeah. I always joke about the whole we're gonna be old and still doing different cases and still investigating, even in wheelchairs
Yeah.
and
I have my
stuff.
wheelchair out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna be dual.
Each
It'll
other
be
in the
electric and
wheelchair.
oh yeah.
Yeah. And Kane, when did you come into the picture?
Out of everyone here, I am technically one of the recent. It's been maybe, gosh, I'm actually very terrible at gauging that time frame.
Almost a year.
A year, yeah. It's only been just roughly a year. So I haven't been to many of the actual excursions, but I've had a lot of I've had some hands-on situations, and I've been able to do some data analysis and stuff. So that was a lot of fun in its own way.
Wow, cool. And how about you, Miss Sadona?
I joined the team. Oh geez, what year was that, Captain?
2017, because we met you at
Keeper of the Data
event. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to get into is the story, but I can't remember when. I actually met them at one of their presentations, one of their public talks that they gave. I went with some girlfriends to one of their public talks. They were like, hey, we should go check this out. This seems like just up your alley, Sedona. And as soon as I saw them and met them, Miss Mary and I were staring each other down the entire event. And I immediately walked up afterwards and was like, okay, how does someone join the team? And amazingly enough, anyone who is interested in something like that, you begin by contacting the team. That's how it starts. Eric does an interview. We begin with an interview process. We vet potential members. Then we take them on a shadow case with us, and then progress from there to see if it's a good fit for the team.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's, I went through that process and I made it onto the team. From there, I eventually got to become a case manager. And then from there, I've gotten the opportunity to continue to grow in my role with the team and within our organization and its growth. So yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. I like, Eric, that you do interviews, that you screen people. That's really good, because I know some teams that just like, come and join us, and it can go iffy.
Yes. We have to do that vetting process to
Yeah.
kind of make sure that the chemistry, because we're family too as a team, and we want to have someone that fits in and goes well with us. And the fact that we also want to decontaminate, as I call it, if it's somebody who's never had paranormal experience at all on a team front, to make sure that they're not going off of, Hollywood says, or, demon this, demon that, stuff like that. So we want to make sure that that's not how they're programmed. And obviously the one I kind of joke about, but it's true also, is make sure that the brown pants joke, if you know, just making sure that they're not running, screaming, carrying on, because they got to be professional on the side that we do. It's a private side of the spectrum. So homeowners, businesses, things like that need help, so we have to raise the bar.
So absolutely.
So Stace knows all about that. She's on 3 different teams that she works with, that she knows all about that.
There's one team I certainly appreciate very much so, that the vetting process, interview and vetting process, because we just did one actually. And just to kind of give you just a little tip of the iceberg, it was very much like, you got to dominate these spirits because, they're like children. And I'm like, I don't know about this one. So you kind of get some kind of interesting feedback on interviews. So Yep.
Yep. Yeah. And that's one of the things, and one of the reasons why I appreciate this team and why I joined Eric's team and was so cautious about in this arena. There's not a lot that I do in this, and what makes Paranormal Endeavors so much different from anything out there. This isn't entertainment purposes. This isn't about chasing the oogie boogies, and this isn't the scare factor and the entertainment purposes. This is an organization and a group of people who are resources for people who are going through things, who are experiencing things. So they're working on research, they're working on documentation, they're working on historical preservation, they're working on support systems for people. So this isn't just a snatch and grab of entertainment purposes and then running and ditching the scene. We are about the whole package, about following through. Yeah, my birds have got some things to say about that, apparently. Sorry. Yes.
Hi, birdies.
Yes.
Bourbon now.
Yeah. But about the whole package and the aftercare as well when we're taking care of our cases. And I think that's really important. And then what we're striving to try and change the narrative and like Eric said, like kind of make sure that programming isn't inside of people when they're coming onto our team, because we are so much different in what we do with that.
Oh yeah.
I would say it's definitely very much like a care plan system, going off of what Sadona was saying, where you're going in there into a family's home. They're already feeling some sort of way, whether it be positive or negative. Your job then is to make them feel comfortable, make them feel safe, make them feel heard. But then also when we go to leave, we don't just up and leave. We say, if you have anything come up, if you need any further help, we are just a phone call away. We are a drive away. We will get somebody out there if you need. So essentially, it is very much our goal is to be part of that care plan for these families, for these companies, organizations, what have you.
Well, that's very refreshing because two of the teams that I deal with locally, we do residential cases as well. So it is very important because you can even have something that's just personally going on in the person's life that you can be supportive of them as well.
Yeah.
So cases like manifesting just negative energy can come across as being demonic or come across as being an entity in the home. So it is very important to be able to do the follow through afterwards when you go in and do, like we do a prelim, go in and like get a baseline kind of talk, interview and everything, and then create a game plan and then proceed with that game plan, whether it's an investigation that needs to happen or here's some things, some tactics to do for, keeping your home safe and making yourself feel so, relieved of what's going on. So definitely much more important it is. And the Hollywood, I mean, one of the members that's now it's actually watching the show right now, he's saying it's a beautiful thing because we're about that too. It's more about paranormal investigation, not ghost hunting, it's a totally different phrase to be able to use it.
Yeah, and then the ones that get a little too bored because there's not enough levitation going on, not enough blood dripping from the walls going on, then we know you're not going to fit with us. I mean,
exactly.
Good luck to you, but you're not with us.
Yeah, precisely.
That's not what we're trying to accomplish.
Right.
No.
So let me ask you guys, what is a location that you would like to go on that's on your bucket list?
I'll let you guys go because I have a few different ones. I'm trying to narrow it down in my mind.
Well, see, again, I'm not usually one who's about going into like publicly known haunted locations. Like that's never been my vibe and my thing with the team. So I've barely gone to any public locations. That's the funniest part. Everyone's like, "Oh, you must have gone to," and like all my friends and people who aren't ghost busting people and all these strangers list all these public locations they've been to, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I've been to like 3, I think, maybe 3 with my team." So they've all been on YouTube. You all can see my experiences with it. So that's so crazy. So yeah,
I would say, so like our team went to Waverly over in Kentucky. And I unfortunately missed out on that one. Yep, Waverly Hills. I would like to get to that one at some point.
I'd be down for going along on that.
Yeah, you would have to. How we had to coordinate it was the 2 other teams at the time because the place is so large and the way they do it there. Tina was so nice to work with, and I would definitely love to take my team back sometime. I've been
it's
there
nice
twice.
to be able to do some of those ones just to kind of get a vibe on them. Like I purposely, if I'm doing anything that would be like that kind of a investigation, I actually like more untapped locations. It's not like it. Trust me, I want to go to Waverly Hills to experience it as a medium. But I love the locations that are untapped that haven't been investigated. And aren't entertainment. You go in and you actually get your own data and you find out your own. You find out you finding out the research of who was actually there. I like that much more than like the public places.
Agreed. And that's actually where we got our best evidence is places that they're not open to the public. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. I agree to that too. Yes, especially. How about your favorite location that you've been to on your cases? Or maybe the scariest. Maybe the ones like oh my god,
most active.
Happening.
Yeah, like the most active.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was going to say probably
my shadow cave. My shadow cave would have been the Opera House in
Walnut.
Yep, in Walnut, Iowa. that one. Yeah. Because this was my first time going out with these people, and I like barely knew them, and you know, kind of coming out of the closet still with my abilities with all these strangers, and so to after the fact, I was feeling some kind of things, and I excused myself out of the building, and then later to watch the episode and to see that they had caught EVPs at the moment I was experiencing something and moved myself out of the building, and to have that moment of evidence of what I was experiencing in that moment, that was the moment that sealed it for me. And I was just like, yeah, yeah, this, I found my peeps. I found what I'm supposed to be doing. I have the evidence now to prove the things that I've been experiencing. Y'all can't tell me nothing no more. This is it right here. This is life.
Wow.
I would say, and piggyback off of the last one that came to mind to the last question, Queen Mary in Long Beach. I would love to get out there. That's my own selfish needs. So I like maritime stuff too. I'm a nerd, but I would say most active case that we had probably in chapter 5, still to this day, you know what I'm thinking of. It's a private residence we had. It was trying. It's very little actually is like scary. We still get shocked, kind of jump scared, as you will. Maybe turn around and you see like that formation standing like right behind you. Whoa! But nothing that really is scary. But this case tested us. It was definitely a stronger entity that tried to get us out quickly. Made one investigator get really sick out of nowhere. Just couldn't explain it. It wasn't something that he ate. Wasn't anything like that. Caused another one to get really, really deeply emotional. And we had to step outside, regroup, and it made her even more determined. That's the kind of investigator that we like. More determined, get back into the fight, so to speak, and go back in there for this family. And it's just one of those things that left a very lasting impression. But the clients are very thankful that a team like ours could go into to deal with that. So.
Wow. Well, we have a Marine Kitty, by T. She says she'll be moving close to Beverly Hills soon.
Oh, nice.
And
That's fun.
actually, the locals just call it the Hill.
The Hill. Yep, I've heard that.
The Hill. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, I hope that you get to investigate a Marine Kitty and send us some details when you do. We love to hear that. So with the cases you have and been to, done for different folks and everything, have you ever I'm sure you have come across someone that says, oh, it's haunted like crazy, but actually it's not. They just think it is. I know other teams has too. So I have to ask if any place that you have been to has been like that, where people's like, oh yeah, I'm seeing things, but they're not.
Oh yeah. Yeah. A lot of them actually end up being kind of like that. That's why anytime we give the case briefing, I always remind everyone to keep an open mind, kind of take what they're saying with a grain of salt, because we're only seeing it, we're only hearing at that point. Maybe it would be a case manager like Sadona has only heard the initial reports of it, and then we don't know fully until we get there. Sometimes there's a mental health aspect that could be involved in this, which is a big one that a lot of people overlook because it's more entertaining for it to be an entity. But
of course, it's possession.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's something that is just one of the good old fashioned, explanations, like, old pipes. It's an old building, something, rodents in the walls, different things like that. So yeah, it seems like almost a majority of them, at least at time of visit, not to discredit, maybe they did have something go on, but at time of our visit, we find it to be something a little less or something much smaller than initial reported.
And do you feel like they're disappointed?
Sometimes yes. Sometimes we've had one that was actually kind of angry
Oh,
at our findings. So
Mm.
that again kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah, well, a couple that come to mind. One that was a client that was seeing all these faces and photos. It was clearly just a matrixing effect, dust and different things grouping together. And she was showing us these, like, look at this. You see this face? There's a face here. There's a face here. And we're just, be professional. We're just like,
That's sort of how I approach it. I myself am, and Eric knows this, but I'm very, very skeptical in some situations, and I do not mean to sound like oh that can't be. It's not impossible. I'm not like the what's the word? I'm not the Scully,
Right.
but I definitely try to approach it very much so with there is possibilities for explainable phenomenon.
Yeah.
So once you rule out those elements, you can start to see like what lies underneath that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yep.
so it definitely, I've only been on one case, so I have not really seen anything as what you're describing where someone is claiming, but I've seen many, I've had discussions with Eric concerning that, and I've also seen it even on just like when you watch general like TV shows like or whatever, where where they try and find a fantastical edge, but it's just like, okay guys, dial it back just a tear.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been on like maybe one traditional, if that's even a thing, but one traditional case with us was at the that church close.
Yes.
And then your shadow case was that one that was more of an outing with friends and a counseling session.
Exactly. And even though I didn't experience nearly like as much sort of phenomena, I still very much was intrigued and able to see where exactly things were coming from, whether there was something going on or whether it was like small, like mundane things. But either way, it all kind of piled together in a way for me to appreciate that there were things to actually consider, not just black and white, Sorry if that was kind of a tangent.
no, that's okay. No, that's fine. How about those that are very skeptic, that you would say, oh, there's a spirit behind you, or there's a spirit in your home, and they're like, nah, there's something here, because they're just too skeptics. And I'm sure you probably have come across some of those too as well.
Yeah. We have, I would say it was one that was a success story, I will say. It was in Oskaloosa location, and this client was so like basically doing that. Oh yeah, they're seeing stuff. Okay, all right, and we go in there, kind of make a little bit light on our sensitive abilities on the team. But when we were getting some stuff, then along with matching up with the equipment, started to be a little bit more like, okay, all right, I'll give them that, and it was just kind of one of those moments where, we were picking up on some stuff too that we wouldn't even know, about some family had passed on of his. And that was kind of one of those stories that kind of turned a diehard skeptic into well, maybe there's something going on here. And that's okay. I mean, our job's not to persuade or tell, make clients believers, and stuff, but I'm satisfied with that because everyone's free to believe whatever that they want to believe,
Well, yeah, that's true. David Wells says debunking is the key, which it is. I mean, I think every team should try to debunk what they agree.
I had a case similar to that where it's like somebody went out there. She had a paranormal team, and she went out, and she's like, and she professed to be a medium, and she really wasn't. But she's like, oh, you've got cryptids, you have a UFO, you got skinwalkers, you've got, and you have cowboys, you have. Out of all that, and you had dead bodies on the property too. And I mean, I went through that like with a fine tooth comb, and I was able to debunk all of it. But yeah, you have some hohokums here, and they're upset about the land being raped. So I think we need a medicine man come out here and do a Native American blessing for the land, and they'll be happy. Guess what? It went away. So it's just like you get again. It's like and they freaked out the client, totally freaked the client out.
Yeah.
So it's really sad when that happens, because then they're like, well, what are we supposed to do? We can't move, you know?
Well, and that's also why it's super important that like what we do is we go in scientific first and then spiritual. So once we've debunked what we can debunk, then we go into spiritual. And there's times where the spiritual is just kind of like beating you upside the head, I guess, if you will. So it is get a bit hard sometimes. I know for me personally, there's been times where I'm like, okay.
I have to listen.
Yes. But it's also a big part of why it's so important not to put all your eggs in one basket per se when you're talking with the client. When you're sitting here, like you can't just go up to the client and be like, it's exactly this, because then if you're going over like evidence review, like what we do, and then you're giving it back to them and showing them the evidence, and that's not lining up with what you're initially saying, then it basically completely just takes everything else out of the picture, I guess, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
it's super important to word it properly, I guess, when you're talking with your client. Like, this could be this, it could be this, but we'll have to do evidence review in order to make sure of what this is. And even then, we can go to one case, have so much activity going on, and then somebody else could come in and have something different coming on. So it's like, or going on, I guess. So you have to be careful with how solidified you're telling people what things are.
Yeah, and that's why we have a couple things to kind of keep us in check to piggyback off of that. One thing is that we utilize a go-to bunny system, basically, where we dedicate somebody to be neutral. They have a notes and a pen, and throughout the night, if they need to move through teams or different people, get them privately aside. Since it's picking up on some information, they tell only that bunny, and they write it down. And then the rest of us throughout the night will do that too. And then it's not revealed to everyone as a group until the end of the night. And then you can see what things that are like, okay. And it validates the spiritual a bit more. And it keeps us in check. And it then can go into the case file for the client as something we can include as evidence instead of just an experience. So we like to have that incorporated as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I agree. That's awesome.
I have a bird
One
situation.
Two birds.
One thing that's going around a lot.
The other one went down.
Has been talking about is para-unity. How do you feel about para-unity? Is that something that you be in for or not?
I think we've personally experienced it as a team. In general, when we go to public locations or when we go even have private, we've had, I don't believe that they're an active team anymore, but we had another team out of Des Moines who reached out to Eric about bringing our team in to help with some training that was going on for some new recruits on his team. And I think it is super important to have para-unity in all ranges, I guess.
Stop being a bird.
Yeah, I think it's super important.
It is, and I think the idea, unfortunately, is only idea for so many because then they get this thing called an ego about them, and then whatever happens is it has to be this. It has to be this. I had we did a reveal. This is back in I think chapter 3. It was a combination of a lot of different things going on in this client's home. And because she had called another team too, which I'm good for having a second opinion. It's fine, whatever client wants to do. However, what I wasn't good with was that the other team's founder was listening to the reveal happen in real time. And then in front of the client started talking about things that he disagreed on. Like, this isn't the time or place, man. If you want to pull us to the side, it's fine, but it's not exactly everything here. You have to be open-minded too on this. I seen a little bit of what you're getting to, but there's this whole other thing that you missed out on. It's okay. And just having that that kind of unity, as you call it, because you might need help, and we've had to help other teams. We had to bail some out before. Ouija board gone wrong, you name it, and it's just like we've had to help them out. I think it's silly to get involved in this, to go at it alone, a lone wolf mentality myself. That's just my opinion.
I think setting egos aside is big.
Yeah.
We're all after the same thing, and we want to educate. We want to have the safety for the individuals and also for the buildings. So it's ridiculous that there has to be an ego put into this, and that your way is the right way or it's a highway.
Yeah.
I agree completely.
Oh yeah, I know. One of the teams in Iowa is trying to start a para-unity. I tell them if they need help, we will help them any way we can. They probably might be the same team you was talking about out in Des Moines. I don't know. We can talk about that later. But yeah, I think that'd be something that would be really great, even here in the Midwest. It's something that we can, because we don't have nothing here in the Midwest that much.
Yeah.
Really.
And we do want to build back, because we did have somewhat of a networking of teams, especially in the earlier years of Endeavors, but either teams have just ended out of the field anymore, so we were talking about this the other day with Sadona and Jackie, where it's just like we reestablish a network like that nationally or internationally, because there's case sometimes we did have one that was thrown at us from Virginia at one time, and I had to tell the case manager at the time, it's like, well, I do know these people, I do trust, I know them, and just send them the information. It'd be nice to build that up so we have that more places, because we can't travel as a home team everywhere.
Right. Absolutely. Sis, I know you have some questions that you are probably just patiently wanting to ask.
Actually, I really don't. I'm just kind of going with the flow, actually, just kind of listening to what they're saying and picking out things to talk about and everything. The para-unity was what I was going to talk about as well. The para-unity is just so important to me. But again, like I said, it's like you can typically tell who's workable and who's not workable, in this field. It's interesting. Let me think of what I can say. Because you guys have touched on like almost everything that I have like note wise here. I would say, like, what's the one thing you've learned from your work that most people wouldn't expect?
Jackie's really thinking.
I know. I'm like, wait a minute. 16 years of experience. Let's go.
Let's go.
We're going deep now.
I would say as many years as I've been doing this, it's been such a big fluctuation as far as personal experience goes. And the more, like, even recently, I would say, what's really stuck out to me as far as things like I've learned along the years has been just how much psychology and like quantum physics does have a hand to play in what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is super important because like we've done our own experiments as far as like with quantum physics, and can you as an individual with just the brain capacity that we have right now, can we manifest our own responses? And we actually did do a test at Eric's and we were able to. So that makes you really stop and wonder at these big paranormal locations, is it mass hysteria? Is it paranormal phenomenon?
Yeah.
Is it a mixture?
Right.
So I guess just really diving deeper into the psychology of it. And like we've mentioned throughout this conversation, it seems like that's part of the equation that's missing with a lot of paranormal is paying attention to the scientific and that psychology side of things.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. I believe, is that why some teams always get certain results that way,
right,
or certain people always get these certain results,
mm-hmm,
and where we're not always getting those results when we go into a place because we're searching for that, right, when we go in there. Mm-hmm. We have different perspectives and different motives, different intentions, mm-hmm, let's say, for our purpose when we're heading in there. So our results while we're in a location are different. And I truly believe that has an impact on what we experience when we're in these places. These are the types of discussions that we as a team have all the time. I love that we talk about these types of things as a team and we get into these discussions. We talk about mental health and how that impacts people and getting people to the appropriate resources for that, because that really, really can have an impact in this field, not only on people experiencing stuff, but those of us who have encountered things that can get a little hairy and sketchy, and what that can do to us and our mental health, and working on, our clarity as well. So like those are important things that this team makes sure to stay focused on, and make sure that we're continuing to educate people and making sure to work on public awareness on all the time. Those are important. Yeah, those are huge, important things to us as a team to make sure that we're working on. Again, it's not just ghost,
Right. And I will say I agree completely too, from my perspective of being on a couple teams before I even started Paranormal Endeavors. So yeah, my lore goes back even further. But the first group I was on, they hated psychics, anything to do with it, they didn't believe in any of that fill in the blank. He called it any different thing depending on whatever day it was. And so it was just like, okay, all right. And their team used provocation as their main thing. They wanted to go in and they would use, derogatory terms, try to get, fight going if they could. And of course, with their team, got EVPs that were more abundant, so we'll give them credit for that, but they were negative EVPs. They were more like the get outs and the go to hell, and things like that. It's like, oh, but then us approaching it more in that professional, respectful, big keyword, we don't get that negative stuff as much. So I'm just like, this is night and day compared, because I guess I got to see what didn't work well with the team and then what does work. And that's how we formed our own. So, yeah.
No, the respect part is very important. It's very, very important. And to your point, Jackie, too, it's like we just on another team had one of the members go to the Myrtle Plantation. And, you guys are familiar with the Myrtle Plantation. You know that Chloe is a huge draw for people to go there and try to catch glimpses of her. And, it is manifested. There's like no substantial evidence that states that she even was a living person or that she literally killed the family or any of that. But, again, it's kind of like Zombie Boy. If we do go to the paranormal entertainment side of it, Adam Berry and Amy did do a test run and they created Zombie Boy. And all they had to do was they go in and constantly within a certain amount of time keep talking about this particular person and continue to keep on, fueling the energy. And then all of a sudden you have yourself a manifestation of an energy level that they could say is an entity or a spirit. So
the mind,
and from that standpoint, the scientific, you can totally go to the quantum, the quantum theory and physics part of it, but then the medium can come in and go, what?
Yeah, that's one reason I hate public places personally, because they have a lot of that and a lot of the drama in the field. Well, it happens from that side. And like Bathsheba at the Conjuring House, I don't even like calling it that. I still call it Arnold Estate because we know why. I mean, it wasn't called that really until 2013 when Warner Brothers came out with the movie.
Right, correct.
Anyway, Kane, you were going to say something?
Well, speaking of the house, so what do you guys think about Jason actually buying the house?
I don't have any reason not to like that idea. I think I'm on board with it as opposed to the competitor that he's been fighting. Yeah. And we know over on, we don't even really talk about it. But yeah, I think Jason's a lot better and more respectful. He tries to be honest and doing the right thing. And the key thing is Andrea reached out and pleaded to him. Right. And so he's helping out, not just for his own personal gain. Right.
But for Andrea, that's
I
what
believe
really,
he'll at least keep the integrity of it. Yeah.
He wants to, he wants to create, an addition to the house so that it would be like a research center and teaching more the scientific aspects of investigation. So I find that to be very appealing as a paranormal investigator myself as well, you know, to actually do that and, oh, it's not a demon. Ah, you know.
Right.
Well, and keep prices reasonable. That's the other key thing,
That's
because
the other
there's
key
so
point.
many that get in this for the greed, or they think they're
Right.
going to be able to quit their day job. Well,
Yeah.
guess what? Most of us that are in this field, the majority of us, we are the main population. We still have a job that we have to do in the daytime, and
That's
this is
correct.
just our side hobby. So,
Right.
yeah.
That is true.
Oh, Kane, you had something to say. I'm so sorry. What were you going to say, Kane?
Oh, it's well past us by now. Don't worry. It was literally just jumping off on what exactly you were saying about how the mind can create what reality. You know, we can shape the world around us just with enough belief. That's for certain. Like if you expect something, or if you tell yourself it can occur, eventually, not to use the word coincidence, but that's kind of like how sometimes coincidence works. You're literally like bending we have more control over the world around us than we really realize. Like, you know, like that's why people believe in the concepts of how feng shui works and stuff, the balances between ourself and the world around us. That's all I was going to kind of jump in with. But no, with all the stuff you were just talking about, I actually had no idea about any of that. So that's all new information with James purchasing the property, and I'm glad that he's adding on to it with something that's respectful rather than exploitative. So
correct.
Yeah,
it's
so
great.
I think
It's a nice concept.
I think when it comes to public locations, it's super important not only to have respect for the location itself and the history, but also the people coming through your door. It is part of your job to make sure people are safe when they come to your location. Now, it is not entirely your full job by any means, because everybody else, we all have to take care of our own protective measures. We all have to be respectful when we're going into these places. But as a caretaker, some of that responsibility does fall on the caretaker. So when you've got people going in there who are in it for just the money, for the greed, for the hype, let's make this into like a whole a freak show attraction, if you will, then that whole safety factor goes way down, it seems like, from what I can't speak for everybody else, but from what I've seen.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Takes the integrity of a place down too.
Yeah, they're right. Yeah, it takes the integrity of the building out too.
So how about Annabelle at the Warrens Museum in Connecticut and everything? So do you think Annabelle actually is still there inside, you know, the spirit that's supposed to be possessed, you know, in Annabelle? Do you think she's still there, or do you think it's just kind of like a money thing?
I think it's a combination of what was just said, to be honest. I think it's the manifesting of that idea to be on there, because if it was something that was actually terrifying, too dangerous to keep the guns off the streets, as they use that term in the movie, they wouldn't be going on they wouldn't be traveling around with her in public places. They would not be doing that, because it would be, you know, it's definitely. Go ahead, Sadona. You have something to say?
Sorry. Yeah, that just really got me. Well, because you just said keep it, you know, the phrase that you just said just brought me to, at the convention we were just at, there was a young lady that came up to Jackie and I, who has just at the, this young lady has went to the Oddities convention recently and purchased herself a possessed doll that she has just been hanging out with and chilling with life with, and then came up to Jackie and I and engaged in conversation. We were at the Chicago convention, and so the young lady and I engaged in conversation, and that was quite interesting. But I realized, that's what they're doing at these oddity fairs, is they're selling these possessed dolls to these kids, and that's a thing that's happening right now. This is a thing that's happening in the world right now.
It's crazy, because I mean, in my personal opinion, as far as Annabelle and like the dolls and stuff like that goes, if she is legit still in there, the spirit itself is still in there, it is super irresponsible to be just parading that energy around. Just like how I feel about the their museum, and it being things are in there for a reason. Now, do I believe everything in there is haunted? No, but there are things in there that are in there for a reason. And like with Sadona just talking about the haunted doll that the chick had picked up and stuff, she was super just like comfortable with the idea of this doll and opening herself up to this energy. This
Thank you.
entity.
Thank you. You get it.
Yeah.
You saw that body reaction. That's exactly what I experienced when she told me. And I was like, do you realize what you are doing, young friend? This is how we go from attachment to oppression to possession. Like this is the steps of how this happens, my friends. This is how we're not educated on this stuff.
Right.
And this is oh my friends. Oh my friends. Like, how do I
Yeah, and unfortunately there are those people out there that want that, and that's the crazy thing in the world. I know an acquaintance out there that specifically has said it in the paranormal field. She would like to have sex with a ghost.
Incubi and all that.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. I'm like, what makes you? Oh my God! Phew.
Each their own, I guess. If that's what they want, call me vanilla.
People
Oh no!
Oh my!
Oh
goodness!
Field, you know, it just makes the integrity that much harder to try to elevate yourself when you go with people that are like that, you know. And then, just like what was it? I don't remember if it was Sedona or Eric or Kane that said it. Like, oh, and then they're going to call us, and then we have to bail them out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's because people
Can
want
I just start? So should we just start setting up booths next to them so then that's how we start finding our clientele?
Yes.
We just start trailing behind them as like ambulance chasers now or something.
Yeah.
Like here's my card. Here's my card. You're gonna need us. Here's my card.
Right.
Oh my goodness. But I don't.
They're stupid. I'm so sorry to be very blunt, but they're just really ignorant.
It's an invitation to chaos.
I know we are going out to Salem in September, and Annabelle's supposed to be on display out there. Maybe it's just next month. I don't know. But I know some of the people that's going with us is like, are we going to go see Annabelle? And I was like, I would not give even $1 to see Annabelle, you know. And I know a lot of people in Salem, some of the residents are just like, we don't even want Annabelle here.
They're very angry. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and that one of the people that is like that is one of the people that we're going to have on our podcast on August 6th is Luna Ramey, and she's very prolific in the paranormal and the witchcraft world and she just made a TikTok video where she's like, all right, I'll take one for the team. You know, all you got to do is videotape me. She goes, take Annabelle out of the case and I will hold Annabelle for 10 minutes. She goes, I want to know. I want to know. Let's debunk it. Let's do it, you know? So I was like, go girl. But I'm with Kane.
That'd be really exciting.
I'm like, you know, there's something to it. It was manifested. Who was it that told us? Was that Cofield Manor? What's her name? Kristen from Cofield Manor. Wasn't she the one that said that the Warrens actually wanted the doll to, in their will, be given to the Vatican? That's how.
Yeah, Heather.
How evil
Heather
they thought it
was.
Yeah. It needed to go to the Vatican. So she's like, for some reason, I don't understand what happened with the Spiros, but why they suddenly decided to sell it. But the idea was not to do that, to take it out. It was like the will stated to go to, and we haven't confirmed that, but that she had stated that she heard that it was supposed to go to the Vatican. So I was like, wow.
Well, Chris McKinnell, the grandson of the Warrens, he's been on a few times. And, you know, he said if his grandmother was alive now, I mean, she'd just be sick because it's not to Annabelle. She's supposed to be just locked away and that's it, you know, not prancing around the United States or anything, you know, which is really quite sad because that's Lorraine's wishes that's being destroyed, you know.
To any of their stuff, they didn't. That was the whole point behind them gathering the things. The same reason that we have vaults, and we will sometimes take things from sites to make sure that these items are removed from where they're at, to protect the environment, to protect the people, to make sure that they're put away, that they're kept safe, that they are, sometimes depending on the situation, that, that they are destroyed or what have you. There are certain items that need to be handled in special ways. That it is true. It is absolutely true. We've encountered things like that. That absolutely is the case. But yeah, that it,
It's very true. It's astounding to me. I'm floored, totally floored about it. But I agree with Eric in the sense, and Chris kind of skirted around the issue and through the trees, so to speak, and basically came up with the same explanation as to Annabelle. Was there an accident? No, there was no accident.
Right.
Is there an imprint? Yes, there's probably an energy imprint on that. But is it anything that is evil? He's like, well, if you continue to keep telling something it's evil, it's going to be evil.
It's going to be evil, yeah.
And the stories don't line up, and so many of them change over the years, and they can't find these supposed victims of sudden, deaths or mysterious tragedies. They just seem to not be in existence stuff. So, I mean, that as a baseline makes it hard for me to believe half of that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, correct.
But we are all talking about it, but we all discussing it. We're all talking about the same doll now. So now it is.
That's what they want.
That's the point. Yeah.
That's what we talked about, how it all becomes a thing and it all becomes manifesting because we are all focused on it. We have all made it a thing.
Right. Yeah. It's like Chloe.
Well, it's just like these TV shows, the paranormal TV shows they have nowadays. I love watching them, but there's anymore it's like I just don't like watching them because it's just like the way they talk to the spirits, for one thing. So it can be very, very vicious towards the spirits. Like the spirits ain't nothing, and they are. They used to be humans,
Right.
And it's just the way they go around thinking something is happening when it's not, making up something because that's a TV show. That's what they're supposed to do, And so there's not very many shows that we're actually watching anymore because of that. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about that. How would you, do you feel about the same way about the TV shows they have nowadays on the paranormal?
Yeah, I would say, well, of course, when I started the team, there's only a handful I could count on, and it was mostly cable networks. You had, Ghost Ventures, Ghost Hunters, Most Haunted, I think was another one. Paranormal State, I think was another one. I don't think what the fifth one was, but there was only so many of them at that time. And even then I was like, okay, this is just entertainment, ratings. Okay, I get it. Some people will believe that, though, that it is true, whatever they're seeing. But my worry is even more so like now that everyone has the capability to do, internet live stream their own videos. Everyone and their dad can go and do this or that. And I'm even more so. I thought I didn't think it was possible for me to be more like enraged than I was back then.
Right.
Well, I am now when I see the stuff that they do, because it's clearly doing unnecessary rituals and they don't know what they're doing. Is one reason I was upset when the ownership change at Farrar happened. A lot of us were. And I'm just like, I spent over a decade of years there. We helped find this place back. Mama Jackie, it was, bless her soul, she passed away in 2014, but she was my mentor. And I was with her team at that time, and we helped find that location, go in there, and started getting the weekend thing going. And then to see it kind of go towards like demonic school, but now purchase, blah, blah. It's like, no, no,
Yeah. Well, and that's like, like Chrissy, she's gone to, was it the Lizzie Borden house you were talking about?
Lizzie Borden.
And again, from a mediumship standpoint, and being able to talk to spirits and feel what they're feeling, I totally agree with her. Like the spirits that are in that house, if they are there, or if it's an energy imprint, I have not been there, so I can't speak of that. but they're sad because they have to day after day after day relive their death in the most brutal of fashions, an axe murderer.
Yeah.
You know, so
Especially
it's like,
Andrew. Yeah, because Andrew, they have a mannequin on the couch with a sheet over his head. Sometimes they have a bloody sheet, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they have an axe with blood next to the couch, sometimes they don't. But what they always have is pictures of
the real life
him.
photographs.
Yeah, afterwards with axe in his head, and stuff. And can you imagine being a spirit and seeing a mannequin representing yourself and seeing these pictures of yourself, after you die? I mean, that is such traumatic experience to see this day in and day out. And it's really quite sad. It really is. They can do without the mannequin. They can do without the pictures. But
because it becomes a gore. It becomes like,
It's a
haunted.
spectacle.
It's disrespectful, and it's like it becomes what do they call that? I can't think of it. A haunted horror show.
Right.
It's less about the education. It's less about the family. It's more about gore. How can we sell the gore to you?
It's
More
bread
blood.
and circuses. It's all just made for others to get entertained by, and
Correct.
it ignores the nightmare that they are experiencing potentially, like
Right.
the ending cycle. And there's no real relief if you're just being tormented by visions of your own terrible demise. Like
Right.
It's,
But that's a corporation that came in.
it's a nightmare. It's just it's a never-ending, repeating nightmare.
Right.
Well, they have to keep them stuck in that trauma in order to be able to keep them stuck there for their
course,
revenue.
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's the sad part about it. And and I understand that the corporation came in and bought that one. Didn't they buy the other one too? The
Villisca.
yeah,
the one who owns the Lizzie house owns the Axe house in Iowa.
Yeah.
So they're both on the same owners and stuff. Yeah. The person who gave us the tour, we was just talking afterwards, and they told us that, and it's like, wow, that's really interesting. And everything. I won't mention the name or anything, but who owns it, you can just look it up. But have you guys ever been to the Axe murder house in Iowa?
I have several times. I was just going to say I'll cherish my earlier couple times there because I had the presence and the gift of Darwin actually, being there. And I could listen to this man tell the story for hours, because he was very passionate. That's the other key thing too that we didn't talk about, but someone who's passionate and in love with the location. And he was, and I don't think there'd be anyone that'll come close now, especially who owns it now.
Yeah.
But
right, yeah,
right. Well, we towards the end of the hour. Anything that you would like to say to the audience that we have not touched base on, or any advice?
do a quick round circle. Jackie, do you have anything real quick?
I would say don't be afraid to reach out if you have something going on, regardless on whatever is going on. Don't be afraid to reach out to somebody. There is hope. I know a lot of times throughout the 16 years that we've experienced, or that I've experienced this field, we have gotten a lot of, well, I'm just crazy, or I've been told I'm crazy, or I'm probably just seeing things or hearing things. And it's like, you have to take the scientific and factor, but you also take spiritual.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to reach out.
Yeah. And then to add on to that, I would say
we do have it going across the screen on the bottom, the link tree, the Facebook, and then YouTube. So please reach out to them. Look at the YouTube, join the Facebook. Go ahead, Eric. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I was going to say don't be afraid to have people with different backgrounds, experiences on your team. Like this is more so like if you're thinking of joining a team or creating one, it works really well. Have someone with expertise of maybe Wicca, someone with expertise of a Christian background, someone with Reiki, like yours truly. Those kinds of things, because you never know when one tool aspect might be
That's very
beneficial in a situation where something else doesn't work.
Mhm.
Because we've had
Mhm.
gone in after a local preacher or pastors went in and did a blessing, had no effect, and then we go in and try different techniques, and they were like, "Oh, I could breathe again. It's so good. It feels like a home again." So it's just to have that extra knowledge and to have people with it just makes it a more well-rounded team would probably be one thing I would say.
Mhm.
Don't bite off more than you can chew as well, because I do believe that there is demonic out there. And
It's
if
not
you
on every
have,
street corner, but yeah.
it's not on every street
Yeah.
corner. It is definitely not. It is not.
99% demonic demons
Yeah.
out there.
Right. But if you have any sort of inclination that you might be in over your head on something, always reach out. Do not push. Do not antagonize. Do not get aggressive. Like, unless absolutely, like, as far as aggressive wise, obviously take back your energy and stuff like that. But if it's something that you need assistance with, get that assistance.
Mhm. Our mission isn't about proving that paranormal exists. It's about serving people that are experiencing those unexplained events and making sure that we do it in a professional way with compassion and transparency and most of all respect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Kane, did
Kane,
you have
any
anything?
last words from you?
Not to sound proverbial, but I'll just simply say that this is something I just kind of been thinking about, but just truth and illusion, they're like, they're like two lines that can converge. So I'd say just don't let doubt dictate your being in those situations and approach what is true for you and decide for yourself how to move forward.
I agree
You
to
know
everything.
you. Yeah. You know you. You know your home. You know what's going on in your space.
Very
Yeah.
true.
And just trust your instincts, you know?
Mhm.
Well, awesome. All you guys stay behind while we end the show. I just want to say, everybody, please jump over to their YouTube, to their Linktree, and to their Facebook and join and talk to them. And also jump over to Within the Cauldron and our sister channel Behind the Witch's Veil. Subscribe, share, and like. And until next time, many blessings, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.